Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa. Okay. Okay, I think we've got it. Okay, I'll try to keep my child heart, learning this new technology, uh, and knowing that things are uncertain all the time. We always have these challenges. So, no matter what's happening, can I keep my heart equanimous? Can I keep my heart light? Can I have a heart of compassion and loving kindness? This is how we can face the world no matter what's going on, and rejoice when things are going well, and try to keep our equanimity or humor when they're not. So today I wanted to speak about the five spiritual or controlling faculties, depending on how they've been. The word in the sutras, it just says the five faculties. And then the Buddha just assumes that you understand what the five are. And then there's this list. And what distinguishes this list from the six faculties and the three and the if you go into the Indriya Samvara, the Indriya Saṁyutta, the connected discourses on the faculties, you'll see five, you'll see three, you'll see two, you'll see six. I think that's the numbers. And then the six faculties are the sense bases, the six sense bases. And then there's three, I think that's a pleasure or something like that. Anyway, but the five faculties, I think what really distinguishes them is the sada. This is one of the groupings of qualities that contains sada, which is usually or often translated as faith, and sometimes it's translated as trust, confidence. And I think there's another one, I can't remember what Ajahn Thanissaro, how he translates it, conviction or something like that. I don't know. He has a kind of his own distinct translations of certain words. So these are really worth exploring, the five faculties. And then also I got inspired because of the previous two sutta studies we did. Was that one was Mahanama, and in the Anguttara Nikaya, in the 11s, it was 11:11. And then 11:13 is Nadia. And both of them they're both lay people, laymen, and they were being taught the five spiritual faculties, amongst other things, but things to arouse faith, things to arouse joy. So I thought I would focus on the faculties this week. I could go weeks discussing it because this is going to be a crash course on the spiritual faculties. So I've taken some extracts in addition to the three that I had posted on our weekly announcement. So now I will attempt to screen share. So wish us luck here. Okay, it looks like This one. Now, can this be seen? Yes. So here we have the English and the Pali side by side. So should be seen. Where is it found? I think maybe where are they found? Where can they be seen? So the Buddha is speaking. If you look at a sutta and it doesn't say the Venerable Sariputta or the Venerable Mahamoggallana or yeah, the Venerable Dhammadina Bhikkhuni. If you don't see the name of one of the Buddha's disciples, then you will. So there's also laymen and laywomen that have given teachings. So you'd see a name of someone, and then if there isn't a name and it just starts out in the Sammyutta Nikaya, it's like this. It doesn't give a background. It'll just say mendicants. Then you'll know this is the Buddha speaking to a group of mendicants, which could include both bhikkhus, bhikkhunis, and lay people. So, but usually with the most senior group of people, it's addressed, is how I've understood this, the way in this culture and the culture the Buddha was in. So everybody's being included in this one, hopefully. Mendicants, there are these 5 spiritual faculties. What 5? The faculty of faith, energy, mindfulness, immersion, and wisdom. So I have a document that will go into the detail of this. So we're going to just read through this sutta, and then we'll get into more detail. Along with the translations, the various ways that these faculties are translated. And where should the faculty of faith be seen? In the 4 factors of stream entry. This is Sotapanna Angus. Sotapati Angesu. Move this up. Sorry. Some things in the way here. I can move it. Okay, there we go. This little box with people in it. Now I just moved up to the top. Okay, there we go. Now, so I'll talk about that later, what those are. So there's 4 faculties, the 4 factors of stream entry. And where should the faculty of energy be seen? This is the Virya Indriyam. It should be seen in the 4 right efforts. And this is right there. Sammappadhāna. And sometimes it's translated as right strivings. It's not here. But in the Bhikkhu Bodhi's translation, this Sammappadhāna, that's a right striving. And then where should the faculty of mindfulness be seen? In the 4 kinds of mindfulness meditation. So the Sadindriya should be found in, oops, I've got the wrong one. Satipatthana. This is the Satipatthana. This is Bhante Sujato is saying that the 4 establishments of mindfulness are actually meditation. It's basically, he's saying there's mindfulness meditation. So he wants put the emphasis on the meditation. So that's why he's translated it that way. And where should the faculty of immersion be seen? In the 4 absorptions. And where should the faculty of wisdom be seen? In the 4 noble truths. So this is immersion is samadhi, samadindriya, and absorptions is a jhanas, the 4 jhanas, deep states of meditation. And then panya, panindriyam, is seen in the Chattusu Arya Satchesu, the 4 noble truths. So that sounds like this is like a syllabus in a way, isn't it? This is quite a lot of work. It looks like it could be maybe just daunting to think, my goodness. But these are the perfections. Actually, if we can work on any level of developing the sada, the faith, sadindriya, any level of abandoning unwholesome and cultivating the wholesome or the skillful, any level. And we start getting on the path and we start working on some aspect of mindfulness, the Satipatthana, including the awareness in all our activities, and any level of calming or stillness of the mind, collectedness of the mind, and any level of development of wisdom. We're starting, this is to be starting on this path. Now let me see if I can navigate to the document that okay, it looks like I can. There it is. You see that? So this is the first one. I don't know if we'll get to all 3 because I got so much involved in the first one that I have a lot of material. And so this first one is basically saying where this first sutta, where the faculties can be found without really describing those elements. So now I've gotten into the elements that are being described. So sada, I just cut this from a talk that I had given, a document with, but is usually translated as faith, confidence, conviction, or trust. So I don't know if I mentioned that one before, but sometimes faith sounds like people get turned off by the word faith because it sounds like, there's a whole thing of having faith and this kind of a gullibility in it, like if you're just following somebody because they're charismatic or they're promising something that they can't prove, like the streets are lined with gold and you'll get there if you come to my teachings every week and put money in the donation box, something like that. So people have been fleeced by people that are kind of their trust or faith in somebody, but it's not gullibility. So the sada and panya are balancing one another. This is the thing about the controlling faculties. They balance one another. So the 2 outer pairs, sada and panya, the 2 outer indriyas, sada and panya, balance one another. So there's a confidence based on understanding. And so we go back to the sutta where is it seen? It's seen in the 4 factors of stream entry, and this is Bhante Sujato's translation. Mendicant, a noble disciple who has 4 things, is a stream enterer. Oh, this is actually this sutta. I'm sorry. So the question is, where will the faculty? That's from the sutta we were looking at. And then this sutta is explaining what the 4 factors of stream entry are. And it's once someone has entered the stream, they're not liable to be reborn in the underworld, bound for awakening. So they're bound for nibbana. This is a 7 or less lifetimes. So what are these 4? It's when a noble disciple has experiential or unshakable, it's a term I've heard first, unshakable confidence in the Buddha, the teaching or the Dhamma, the Sangha, and they have ethical conduct that is loved by the noble ones, leading to immersion. So you might remember Nadia was being, along with the 5 faculties, he was being encouraged to establish himself in ethical conduct. So it's not separate. You can't just skip over ethics and I'm just going to meditate and try to get my mindfulness and my wisdom and my whatever. You have to have ethics. You have to be an honest, kind person. And then this is a poem at the bottom, but it got crunched into prose. Those who have faith in ethics, confidence, and vision in the truth, in time arrive at happiness, the culmination of the spiritual life. So this is the description of Sada, and I could spend. Sada appears in a lot of different suttas, and it is a important element to cultivate, just to keep us on the path. It gives us the brightness. It gives us brings up joy. It brings up motivation, knowing that others before us have accomplished the path, and just being inspired by people on the path or ahead of us on the path. So then Wirya, this thing is that there's pairs on either side, like the Sada and the Panya are on opposite ends of it, and they balance each other. And Wirya comes up actually, so it can be sequential too. We get faith in the Dhamma and the Buddha and the Dhamma and the Sangha, and then energy comes up from the Sada, from the faith. But Wirya is translated as energy or effort, and then the Wirya and Samadhi balance one another. So then if the mind gets too energetic to bring the more calm with the factors of Samadhi, we can we'll get to Sati, but these 2 balance one another. You can see one is very energetic and the other is calming. So if the Samadhi is getting dull, we bring up energy. But and how is it described though? And where should the faculty of energy be seen? And that's in the 4 right efforts or right strivings. So there's the whole Sammyutta. there's a whole Sammyutta. It's a Sammappadhāna Saṁyutta in the connected discourses. There's a whole collection of teachings. It's not very long, but and it's also 4 of the 37 Bodhipakkhya Dhammas. So that's 37 factors that support awakening or of or for awakening, depending whether you're on the path or whether you've accomplished the path. So, and this is identical to the 4 right efforts in the Noble Eightfold Path. So, yeah, it's a lot of material, I know, but I mean, just take your time. You can focus on one thing or another. So like I was saying, this is a crash course. This is Bhante Sujato's translation from the connected discourses on the 4 right efforts or right strivings. And then this is the Buddha speaking again. Mendicants, there are 4 right efforts. What for? It's when a mendicant generates enthusiasm. That's chanda. He's translated chanda as enthusiasm. Chanda is often translated as desire. He generates enthusiasm, tries, makes an effort, exerts the mind, strives so that bad, unskillful qualities don't arise. They generate enthusiasm, try, make an effort, exert the mind, and strive so that bad, unskillful qualities that have arisen are given up. They generate enthusiasm, try, and make an effort, exert the mind, and strive so that skillful qualities arise. They generate enthusiasm, they make an effort, exert the mind, and strive so that skillful qualities that have arisen remain, are not lost, but increase, mature, and are completed by development. These are the 4 right efforts. So then in the analysis of the path, which is in the Magga Sammyutta, which is the connected discourses on the Noble Eightfold Path, this is the right effort, and this is Bhante Bodhi's translation. And it's just phrased a little bit differently, and I think this maybe Bhante Sujata is a little bit more clear, but it's basically saying the same thing. It's just the Pali is exactly the same. It's just a different translation. So in what bhikkhus is right effort? Here bhikkhus, a bhikkhu generates the desire for, and then I put in this is the guarding of the mind, a non-arising of unarisen, unwholesome states. Makes an effort, arouses energy, applies the mind, and strives. So this is the kind of the, what do you call it? I can't remember the word for it. Anyway, so he generates the desire for the abandoning of the arising of evil, unwholesome states. He generates the desire for the arising of unarisen, wholesome states. He generates the desire for the maintenance of arisen, wholesome states, for their non-decay, increase, expansion, and fulfillment by development. He makes an effort, arouses energy, applies his mind, and strives. This is called right effort. So that's, I summarized it here. Actually, I found something online and I just edited it myself to make more sense. It's the effort to avoid, unskillful mental states or actions of any kind, to avoid unskillful qualities. I put this unskillful mental states or qualities, to develop the skillful qualities, and to maintain and bring to fulfillment skillful qualities. So that's kind of a shorthand of all of that. And the refrain, oh, that's the word, it was the refrain, Chandam Janeti Vayamati Viryam Arabati Chittam Paganhati Padahati. So this makes an effort, arouses energy, applies minds, and strives. So that sounds very energetic, rousing up your energy. But the sada can help with that. And then satindriya, so sati, mindfulness, present, attentive, and literally remembered. So memory is an aspect of sati. And I always like to say, back in the 70s, there's this book that very popular by Baba Ram Dass. Remember, the title was Remember, Be Here Now. Remember, be in the present moment. And this is one way to think of the memory aspect of it. But if you're mindful in all your activities, then you're more likely to remember. If you're very attentive, it's just like attentive, present, mindful, then you'll remember. And I've had situations where I misplaced my keys and I couldn't remember where it was, but I had a body memory of it. It was a strange thing because I was really mindful of practicing mindfulness of the body. And I didn't think to make a mental note. I'm setting these here. I set the keys here. And I set them in a very strange place. And then so I just asked my body, my hands particularly, I asked my hands, where are the keys? And then my body just took me to where they were. It was the mind couldn't cognize where the keys were, the body could. So it was like because the mind was saying they should be somewhere logical, but they were someplace not. They were just set on a windowsill. It's like it was like so this memory, this aspect of memory is all these things: mindful, present, attentive, and remembered. And then the in the list of the pancha indriyas, the five controlling faculties, sati is in the middle. So you have the two balancing, you have the panya on sada and panya on the outer pair. They're the outer pair, and the inner pair is virya and samadhi. So energy and stillness, or I don't have a real word that can encompass what samadhi is. There's no one real word. But anyway, so mindfulness is in the middle. And that's kind of like, if you imagine a scales or something, and the outer scales this is the faith or the confidence, and the wisdom is on the outer scales, and the inner scale is the energy and the samadhi, or the inner scales. And then you have the post there that's, they're like maybe, I don't know, somehow suspended on, so they're not bothering one another, but they're all working together. Is with mindfulness in the middle. Mindfulness is overseeing and making sure that these things are in balance. So your awareness, oh, I'm starting to get really drowsy here. How do I arouse energy? Or I'm getting very agitated and distracted. How can I bring calm and collectedness to my mind? So they balance one another, because the mind just like well, the reason why people go to extremes is our minds go to extremes very easily. So this is this awareness, and the question in the sutta started with is, and where should the faculty of mindfulness be seen? And it's in the 4 kinds of mindfulness, in the Satipatthana, Chatusu Satipatthanesu. And then here again, what's interesting is we have, starting out with virya, with energy, we have 3 factors in a row from the Noble Eightfold Path. So we have virya, we have sati, and we have samadhi. These are all path factors, and they're like in the middle. It's just like everything is like interconnected and interrelated. So don't worry, like if you're working on one thing, then you're bound to be working on other elements that support the path. So we have the 4 establishments or foundations or mindfulness meditations. And so it says, so in the analysis of the path, of the Noble Eightfold Path, the question is, and what bhikkhus is right mindfulness? Here, bhikkhus, the bhikkhu dwells contemplating body in the body. I think Bhante Sujato says as a body, the body as a body, just the body in the body. They dwell contemplating feelings in feelings. They dwell contemplating mind in mind. They dwell contemplating phenomena and phenomena, ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, having removed covetousness and displeasure in regards to the world. This is called right mindfulness. So for the mindfulness to be really deep and purified, this is bringing us back to the to virya, to virindriya, which is, as we saw, we're abandoning unwholesome qualities. And so we're developing this, in order to develop pure mindfulness, we have to abandon unwholesome qualities. So this covetous and displeasure for the world, as some people say, that's kind of a shorthand for the 5 hindrances. So anyway, so these are unwholesome qualities, to desire and displeasure. That's the greed and aversion. So basically that's the 4, well, at the Sadindriya, what the faculty of Indriya is. And I got this from the digital Pali, the translator that's on Sutta Central. Okay, we're going to Samadhi. Thought I had something with Sati. That was up at the top. Put this down. So I guess I wanted to say something a little bit more about sati, and that, like I was saying, that the mindfulness and all our activities, that's part of the satipatthana. If you're doing some work with I think during your daily life, it's really good to have really be developing awareness of all your activities. You can have awareness of mind too, like what is my mental state right now? What, like I'm noticing the mind when it's distracted or angry or peaceful, or what is going on in the mind. Is it contracted or expansive? So if we're working, so the mindfulness of the body, or mindfulness of the because also the phenomena is the dhammas. So we might be observing hindrances arising, or we might observe that we're developing some factor of the if we're developing sati, then we're developing one of the 7 awakening factors. So we can see, okay, I'm actually working on this. I'm aware that this is occurring, but I think mindfulness of the body is probably the key, the one that may be most practical in daily life. Even if you're sitting at the sink washing the dishes, or you can really feel your feet on the floor, or if you're talking to a friend, then you can see what's going on, aware of the mind, the mental state. But the body, I think we can touch in if we're starting to feel irritated as what is going on in the body, how is the body. Anyway, I'm just trying to, you can, I'm sure you've developed in yourselves ways to maintain some amount of mindfulness through the day. That'll help everything. All the other path factors, all the other indriyas. So here we're going to samadhi, and like I was saying, this is exactly the same as the Noble Eightfold Path, the description of what samma samadhi is, what samadhindriya is, as samadhi is the 4 jhanas, as a samma samadhi, but samadhi itself, there's different depths of samadhi, and they're describing it here in the dictionary, the dictionary online for the Sutta Central. As perfect peace of mind, stability of mind, stillness of mind, mental composure. So if we're developing these throughout the day too, we can be working on developing samma samadhi, which is described as the 4 jhanas, and samindriya, samadhindriya. So that's a little hard for me to pronounce. So we can be developing these qualities through the day. So when we're on the cushion, this may sound daunting as the indriya of samadhi, but it's the 4 jhanas. So, and this is, I believe it's Bhante Bodhi's as well. And what bhikkhus, yes, because he says bhikkhus is right concentration. That's what is, so here, this is the common translation for samadhi is concentration, and a lot of teachers object to this translation. Vajjan Brahm like stillness. I think that was up here. stability of mind, stillness of mind, mental composure. So we'll just bear with, very respectfully to Bhante Bodhi, because he's done such wonderful, given such wonderful, a wonderful gift in his translation to us. Here, bhikkhus, secluded from sensual pleasures, secluded from unwholesome states, a bhikkhu or anyone who is able to enters and dwells in the first jhana, which is accompanied by thought and examination with rapture and happiness born of seclusion, with the subsiding of thought and examination. He examines and dwells in the second jhana, he, she, they, which has internal confidence and unification of mind, is without thought and examination. This is vitaka vichara. So this is that fades away. This is the force that's putting the mind on the object, and has rapture and happiness born of concentration or samadhi, with the fading away and as well of rapture. He dwells equanimous and mindful, clearly comprehending. He, she, they experiences happiness with the body and enters and dwells in the third jhana, which the noble ones declare they are equanimous, mindful, one who dwells happily. With the abandoning of pleasure and pain, and with the previous passing away of joy and displeasure, they enter and dwell in the fourth jhana, which is neither painful nor pleasant, and includes the purification of mindfulness by equanimity. This is called right samadhi, and this is also the indriya of samadhi, samadindriya. So don't worry, just as long as you're working on that, calming the mind, unifying the mind, collecting the mind. But you also notice here we have mindfulness, which was the previous indriya. So that's embedded in the jhanas. They're all interconnected, supportive. And then we're getting to the last indriya here. So if wisdom, the panya faculty is it can be, the reason why that it needs the sada is that people it can get too dry, this wisdom. If you're just focusing only on the wisdom qualities, it can just get kind of too stern and dry, and you can become uninspired, because it's like wisdom, intelligence can only take us so far. But there's something about having a certain amount of trust, and to know that other people have walked this path, and that it's possible, because you've seen other people that you're inspired by, that have gone through this transformation, that are that you have trust in, that you have confidence in. So then this helps us continue, because you can start getting too skeptical and too if you're relying only on the wisdom aspect and the learning, and this is, I think, more about just being more scholarly, if you're just scholarly. So this is how the sada helps to balance the panya. So Ajahn Thanissaro says discernment and understanding is, I think, how Ajahn Bhante Sujato translates panya. But here, it says, where should the faculty of wisdom be seen? In the Four Noble Truths, Chatusu Arya Sachesu. And so I went to the connected discourses on the truths to find the Four Noble Truths, because that's what the Sammyutta is about. And lo and behold, what do I find? And the first one is Samādhisutta. So the Buddha is telling the monks, develop immersion. A mendicant who has immersion truly understands. What do they truly understand? They truly understand this is suffering. This is the origin of suffering. This is the cessation of suffering. This is the practice that leads to the cessation of suffering. Idam dukkhanti yatha bhutam pajanati ayam dukkam samudayo ti yatha bhutam pajanati ayam dukkha nirodho ti yatha bhutam pajanati ayam dukkha nirodha gamani patipada ti yatha bhutam pajanati. So the panya, panindriya, the power of wisdom, faculty of understanding. So here, pajanati is related to panya. They have the nya in there, although it's kind of changed in the verb form as a root, I believe. Yeah, there's the nya there. Nya. But I didn't get the root here. Anyway, they are related. So you can see that wisdom, faculty of wisdom and knowing and understanding, distinguishing. So that's a discernment, you can say. This is a, and then I love this. People often say things as they are, this as it is, but that in reality of such nature. So in accordance to reality, this is what Ajahn Brahmali, how he speaks of it, in accordance to reality. So this is understanding things really as truly understanding. This is what the wisdom faculty is about. And then we need the samadhi, which was a previous indriya. And here, to this one sutta right here, if anyone is arguing, saying, oh, we dry insight, or oh, we don't need to do insight meditation, there's this so-called debate between the insight and concentration camp. It's just like so we need both. You can't just have one or the other. You need the whole path, really. And the Noble Eightfold Path, actually the five spiritual faculties are embedded in the Noble Eightfold Path. So, but the distinguishing character of this one is the sada, the faith or trust or confidence. This is what makes it a different grouping. And then how it balances the mind, how when you're working with it in a particular way, you're balancing the mind. It's also called the controlling faculties, and I skipped over, I had said something about the simile of the chariot. You might have read that. But there is a simile, I think it was in the commentaries. There's a number of similes of the chariot in the suttas, but the simile of the chariot in reference to the five controlling faculties is the two pairs. You have the in the front, you have the sada and the panya. You have the wisdom. One horse is wisdom, and one horse is faith. These beautiful mares pulling the the chariot. They talk about the white mares. They could be black. They could be a beautiful brown color, whatever. So you have these two, wisdom and faith in the beginning, the first pair, and then you have the energy and the samadhi horse as the second pair. And the charioteer is mindfulness. And so mindfulness is helping to, and the two pairs of horses are balancing one another, and they're taking you on the road to nibbana. So that works together. Like I was saying, the scales, the idea of the scales, but this onward leading image of the chariot. I made up the scale one, but the onward leading of the chariot going to nibbana is a beautiful imagery too that might help you if you like imagery. So I think I'm going to just stop the screen share. If there's any questions, because I thought this may be the case that I didn't have time for the other sutras. I maybe take those other ones next week and continue the conversation with those. Okay, we'll put it on gallery. So if anyone who's here live has a question or comment, I know there's a lot of material. Yes, Adrian.
Thanks, Ayyā. With the elements of stream entry relating to faith and stuff, I suppose that kind of makes sense as to why those five faculties were like at the beginning of the other suttas, where like you develop those first and then you develop like faith, recollecting faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, because it kind of suggests you already have them, I guess, because but I was wondering, the four aspects of stream entry are different to usually how it's described of like dropping the three fetters. So is there like a difference there, or have I missed something?
Repeat the sentence again. I didn't quite get the first part of it.
That was just
The three, what was it?
the three fetters that are
Fetters.
let go of at
Oh,
stream entry.
so for the stream entry.
But in
Yeah, so
the
this,
yeah.
okay. So this is why the panya is so important, and the wisdom faculty is important to balance that out. And so we're developing for it to be indriya and for it to be actually become a power. We're developing all these faculties simultaneously. So the three fetters. So I think we have to have faith that this is true, because we maybe intellectually understand it. This is also how these two balance it. And I intellectually understand that the Sakkaya Ditthi is these five khandhas are not self, and this is a very challenging thing to, because we even intellectually we might understand that, then there's still some doubt there, or we still operate, very much within this clinging to the self. This is the hardest one to let go of, and the sila bhatta paramasa That's another thing too, like all my life, I've had some rituals or something, and I thought this is what the key to my awakening, and now you're telling me no. It's like something like that. So you have to have kind of a certain amount of trust that, because there's going to be some resistance. And Silabbata Paramasa is more than just the ritual aspect of it, but someone was describing, I'm sorry, I can't think of it right now. It's a deeper than that. It gets into deeper levels, but I have an example where I really clung to this idea. It's related to the Sakaya Ditti, but it's also related to the Silabbata Paramasa, where I thought that taking care of my body in a particular way was like almost, it was like more like a ritual. So I'm very attached to eating organic foods and eating whole grains, and or even supporting, or organic farmers or something like that. And and then I had to give that up in order to be a monk, to be a bhikkhuni. So I had to have the faith that, okay, this was the thing to do. I mean, I had to accept what was offered to me. And that was more important to me than having organic foods. Okay, so I'd have to stay a layperson in order to have. Oh, you have to have enough money too to have more choice. But I mean, in my case, uh, that came first, actually. It was like one of the things that was like, but I started to see that when that was challenged, because I had to change. So to be able to let go, this is a letting go of maybe not, it could be ritual too. At the time of the Buddha, the people had all kinds of rituals they would do. And to say, this is not the way to awakening, this is so you have to have some amount of trust in the teaching in order to let go of that fetter too. Right? So it starts out with some, okay, I'm gonna act as if I have enough confidence as this is important enough to me to start letting go of that what used to be my my ritual kind of thing. What I thought was the answer to longevity, the answer to happiness, or whatever. Well, everyone just had a garden in their backyard, then the world would be a better place, or something like that. It's like so, or clinging to these concepts of what the answer to our suffering is. How are we going to end our suffering? Can we trust the Buddha's teaching that this is the way to end the suffering? So the covered two of the three. So the third one, what would I just slipping my mind. Doubt. So yeah, you have to have a certain amount of trust where we don't understand all the teachings right away. Some of them it's apparent here now. Some of the Dhamma is apparent here now. And that's why our faith has been spurred, because of this understanding of, I can see when I first read the Four Noble Truths, I could see that craving caused suffering. I could see that it was insatiable. I didn't have like it wasn't like I had entered the street. Maybe I just became a Dhamma follower at that point, because that made so much sense to me. I could see it. I could see how greed was causing so much trouble in the world. I could see how, and then the experience of craving being dukkha. You can experience that for yourself. This is the first two noble truths are very apparent. So then there's the other two, the cessation of suffering and then the path is the way to the ending of suffering. And so we have to really have enough sada to follow the path. So this is where the sada and the panya are working together, and the overcoming the doubt and the other two fetters. So I think is that answering your question? They did. Yeah, so there's like there's 4 qualities of a stream enterer. These are once someone has entered the stream, they have unshakable doubt. So that's overcome the skeptical doubt. The vichikicha, I think is I think that's a doubt. And so that's it. And then keeping the ethics pure. So those are those are qualities of someone who has entered the stream. So if we're working towards entering the stream and we're working towards developing the sada, but it's based on, like I was saying, it's based on our understanding. It's not just gullibility. And not just because I'm gonna go to the temple and I'm gonna bow and I'm gonna chant and I'm gonna memorize the Pali chanting, and but it has to have some understanding along with that. All that's wonderful, all that's beautiful, that's inspiring. But then the bhikkhus or bhikkhunis will be giving you a Dhamma talk. Hopefully, you're not just lighting incense and bowing and leaving some fruit at the altar and thinking that's enough. That's very wonderful. It's beautiful, but then we need in order to enter the stream, we need to be have an understanding of the Dhamma. So I guess it's past time now. So I'm going to end the YouTube. So maybe we can end with the paying respects to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Let's see if I can move in a way that doesn't bump anything. If you care to, if you wish to, can pay respects to your own. If you have one in the home or here to this image here that I realized I was obstructing. Araham Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Bhuttam Bhagavantam Abhivademi. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammam Namasami. Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sangham Namami. So thank you all for joining, and if you wish to stay on, those who are live,